Okay. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Friday, January 16th of 2026 public meeting of the Kingston City Land Bank's Acquisition, Disposition, and Construction Committee. My name is Mike. I serve as the meeting's moderator. We do ask that members of the public limit their comments to no more than 2 minutes per speaker. And with that, I turn the meeting over to our committee chair, Mr. Aaron Chilwich. You are muted. Okay.
Yeah. Of course I am. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Fred, for coming today. We're excited to have you on board for this next phase of KCLB work, our entree into modular. But before we get to that, updates. Updates on Keystone and Article 11. Mike and Kyle, I defer to you on ribbon cutting events and home sales and all the other updates that you have on how you want to proceed.
All I know I learned from Kyle, so
appreciate that. So home sales for these final two homes, the contracts have been signed and the application process has begun with the banks. We are anticipating closing in about, we're told, between 45 and 75 days as of last week. So a little bit sooner than that, hopefully. And that means that a ribbon cutting ceremony should be coming up relatively soon as well. Mike and I have begun discussing that a bit, but that's something that we need to formalize and hoping to get that on everyone's calendar, start reaching out to people soon.
That's great. It'd be good to have an event, and I think Mike said at one point that we should use this as an opportunity to showcase the adjacent sites as well. So bring out everybody from HCR that's needed for that. That's great to hear, though, Kyle. So maybe sometime in February, we'll do something. I'll let you guys tell us when we're having it. That's great. And then Article 11 updates. Like, I saw your email. I was a little confused by the question marks in your notation. Could you explain a little bit what kind of, or Kyle, like what you were trying to communicate there?
Absolutely. Sorry to be so cryptic, but at least the footnotes help me remember what I was trying to say. And hi, Joanna. Welcome. Hey. So Article 11 is the process by which the city takes tax foreclosed properties and passes them through as an option for us to purchase under the city's disposition policy as revised. We have been waiting for the city to conduct its first round of Article 11 proceedings for approximately 10 years, not knowing what the timeline could look like or process, given that there are new people involved. Earlier today, we learned that there are now, based on the redemption date having passed for the first round of Article 11 proceedings by the city, 13 properties that will be coming to us soon-ish, possibly as soon as the next meeting. I don't have all the details on those properties, and it'll probably be easier to discuss as it develops, but we will have upcoming Article 11 properties offered to us, so I wanted to mention it at this meeting. Subsequent to that, the second redemption date, which will be coming up next month on the 1st of February, could be 25 properties. It's a pool of 25 properties, and the 3 question mark there is my notation based on the best information I have that we currently are looking at 3 properties that will not be redeemed. So it could be as high as 25 properties. It's currently 3. Similarly, moving on to March 15th, the redemption date for that block of properties is currently a pool of 27 properties, of which we have no forecast for what that could look like. And similarly, on April 6th, a universe of 60 properties. So we're looking at a huge universe. For context, out of the 13 properties, that was a pool universe of 29. So if you say maybe that trend continues, we're still looking at tens of properties coming our way this year through Article 11. So that was hopefully demystifies a little bit what my notation said. But that's my update on Article 11.
And has the city? I mean, that's really helpful. Has the city provided any guidance on? Because obviously this is just a little bit of a brave new world for us and for them. Post-court decision about how they want to proceed. Are they gonna? I know once the redemption period is done, we don't just get the properties automatically. There's a continued further legal process. And then obviously there's conversations with a local foundation that are occurring simultaneously.
Sure.
Yeah, just any further conversation that can be shared in a public setting.
Understood. No, unfortunately, don't have any
Okay.
better understanding of the mechanics as to how this might roll out.
Okay.
I, at least on paper, it's fairly statutory as far as how it must proceed, and that the city,
Yeah.
under the dispo policy, would offer to us at the full purchase price, meaning full market value, the price of the property we would pay for either, if we were
Yeah.
interested, we have 90 days to accept or reject, during which time we would pay for either broker price opinion or an appraisal, and pay the lower of the two, held at Treasury, County Treasury for 3 years.
Yeah.
I think that's what happens. It hasn't been done here before, but that's
Yeah.
kind of my guess.
Okay. I appreciate that. Any questions for
Of course.
Mike and Kyle on Article 11? You know why the city did it in these kinds of tranches with like a different redemption period 1 month apart?
I don't know.
That's
It
fine.
might have been a
Not-
bandwidth issue
Yeah.
because it was a new process and a new legal counsel,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
not sure.
Yeah. Cool. Well, if no questions there, the new home project and the construction overview that Fred provided. Thank you, Fred, for putting that together. It's actually very helpful because it wasn't clear. It wasn't clear to me who did which thing. So it's useful. It's useful. I guess I'm sure other people have questions, or but I had one thing just to kick it off, if you don't mind. One of the things that I've wondered about, and I know that you're probably new to working in Kingston, is to what extent you have to be, I don't know, hand-holding the local jurisdiction as to kind of what their role is with regards to on-site inspections. Do they, have you found when modular things are being cited that jurisdictions are trying to kind of, I don't know, overstep what their role is, given that they don't actually have kind of the same plan review responsibilities in this context, or is it are they used to this process?
You know what? It's funny. It's like I just started doing modulars a couple of years ago, and every new area that I go into, the building departments are quite familiar.
Oh wow.
So with the plans that we provide them, they have the inspections. The third party inspector is going to actually put an inspection sticker in the building when it's delivered. So it's the builder's responsibility to just hand that over to the building inspector, and that's pretty much it. And now the main thing, you're still going to have inspections on the finished
Yeah.
plumbing and the finished electrical and the finished HVAC. It's
Yeah.
just that you're bypassing the rough inspections. So
Gotcha.
pre-sheetrock stuff. So they're still going to be involved, but every municipality that I've worked on has, they understand that they're just there for the finish, for the final inspection.
That's great.
Haven't had any issues,
Knock on wood. That's great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We don't want Kingston to be the one to start the dominoes falling.
Totally.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, from that perspective, it's relatively seamless, and I took it upon myself when I first did one in Albany to actually sit down with the head of the buildings department, and honestly, it was a waste of a meeting for him because he was just like, "Yeah, I know, what are we here for?"
Yeah.
So I find that most inspectors, or so far all inspectors that I've dealt with, are fully aware of the process. You let them know everything up front when applying for the building permit, and it's been relatively smooth sailing.
Okay. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great to hear. Other board members, any questions or anything you want to say today on this topic?
I just want to thank you for the matrix. It's very helpful.
Sure. Absolutely.
I haven't had a chance to review. I think it was just circulated like shortly before this call,
Yeah.
unless I missed it like in another email. So I'll take a time to look at it, and I appreciate like the context that I'll have while I'm reviewing it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I just got out of work, so I haven't had a chance to review it either, but it's nice to meet you, Fred.
Good to meet you. I'm glad I didn't pull a
Hey.
pop quiz on you guys, right?
Yeah. Yeah. What I do see is, as far as our input in the process, it's pretty minimal, which is we appreciate also. But in the past, we did have a fair bit of kind of back and forth around the design details. I know there's only so much design that input that can happen from this modular system. But yeah, I'm curious what your thoughts are around like change orders and things like that. Do you see like kind of reaching out to the design team or kind of just making those decisions as needed on your own?
Well, nothing's gonna be on my own. I think everything I'm working with Mike and Kyle and the team here. So if there are any necessary, any particular reasons why we would need a change order, hopefully it's not on the box itself, it's not on the modular
Right.
itself.
We're
If
in
it
the
is, then if it's something that could be modified on site, just strictly from a cosmetic perspective, as long as we're not moving anything structural around, we can have a discussion to make sure that that doesn't void a warranty from the modular vendor. But for the most part, I don't want to say it's etched in stone, but it's pretty, yeah, it's etched in stone. Yeah. There may be some flexibility depending on what you're trying to do, but at the end of the day, I think there's been quite a few discussions just to get to what the modular company is delivering. So um, I think everyone will be pleasantly surprised. The best part of modular for me, I built well over 150 stick homes over the last 13 years. And coordination is always a tricky part. Making sure, and I always tell folks, it just takes one person to kind of throw off everything in terms of sequencing. And with modular, the best part about it, you've eliminated a good chunk, not all of it, but a good chunk of that coordination. So as a result, if your team on the ground is strong enough, you should be able to complete it in almost record time, as long as the sites are reasonable. These sites may have a little challenge in terms of
Yeah.
topography and other details of that nature. So, it's par for the course. You just deal with it. But from the building itself, um, it should be relatively a easy task. And I've had quite a few conversations and discussions with Maeda, and I've seen pictures of their work. Can't beat it with a stick. I mean, these guys, they do great work from what I can see. So, and they're very, very detail oriented to the point that they're picking the plans apart, which is great, especially when you're dealing with a contractor that reads plans. I deal with contractors all the time that are like, yeah, we never got any plans. So I'll, look in their truck and they'll have like 8 sets of the same plan. They just never look at it. But guys are definitely pros. So um I have the utmost confidence. I think this will be a successful project, and hopefully this will be a method of construction that you guys feel that you want to continue with going forward.
Do you have a schedule, Mike, or do you guys know when you're going to get started or with what comes
We do.
next?
We do. That leads into maybe the conversation around the contract itself, which would include the schedule. So we're finalizing that, Rebecca. We do have a schedule that was submitted with the RFP response. And one of the many wonderful things about engaging with Fred is that he brings this sense of calm to my anxiety that's constantly in the room that you all know. And so has told me he's comfortable with the draft schedule, and I feel confident that the schedule that's in the contract will be the best that we can make it. And then we would circulate it, Rebecca, after the contract is executed, if that works for you.
Sure. Just want to know when to put my party dress on, So
Totally.
Mike, has there been any? I know that you were still waiting on I can't remember what sign off it was even from the environmental team that would allow us to do start doing site work and I think specifically deal with trees.
Done.
Really?
Kyle navigated that quite some time ago, and I think it was just such a monumental milestone that maybe it came and went because we never knew when it was going to happen. But
Yeah.
we're through that process, and
That's great. Okay. No more concern about the bats. That's great.
not on this site.
Okay, that's great. Anything else before we do executive session? We had to do executive session. But if anybody has questions, I think we'll follow up after the fact once we've had time to look over the schedule again or that diagram again. But thank you
Yeah.
again for joining today and for all your work with our small and trusty team.
No, absolutely. Looking forward to it. All right, everyone. So
all
are you
right.
guys going to executive now?
Yeah.
Well, first, once we vote.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But you don't need to stick around for the vote unless you want to. So
All
we have
right.
several items to go to executive session today, to discuss an executive session today.
Thank you, Fred.
Related to, oh yeah, bye Fred.
See you.
Related
Thank you.
to contracts that and what are the other justifications here? It's contracts,
Securities and
security and
contracts.
contracts. Yeah. Do I hear a motion to go into executive session?
Motion to go into executive session.
Second.
And a second there. All in favor? And we are in executive session.
Bye.
So thank you all for coming today. We voted on the aforementioned items related to securities and contracts. And that's all I need to say, right? I need to say what it
Right.
was exactly. Yeah. And we look forward to our upcoming board meeting. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Rebecca, Joanna, and Barbara. With that, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to
Yes.
adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
And there we go. That's two. I'll be the third. All in favor? Have a
Aye.
good long weekend, everybody.
Thank you. Take
Bye.
care.
Bye.
Thanks.
Everyone.
Have a good one.
Bye.